here's my theory. With all the money that the Dada guy was paying all you to talk about that record, you think they could have pressed a couple more copies. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Broke on Records. Is that the name of this? I never remember. It's Record Store Day 2025. It's all a blur. I didn't sleep, and then I slept, and then I woke up, and then I got out, and I waited in line for 3 hours, and I spent an abysmal amount of money on records, and now they're in my house, and now I have to listen to them because that's the ritualistic cycle of debt that I've put myself into. No debt. I paid up front. No trade credit this year. It was out of pocket. Got a nice raise at work. This is my one celebratory thing I did with it. Other than that, taking care of business. I got everything on my main list. I had whittled down my list quite a bit. I wanted to. I had my eyes on the Soul Asylum. I nailed down to 15 titles, which is exactly how many I got last year. So I thought that was a nice round number. So I ended up passing on the Soul Asylum, which I was kind of interested in. I passed on the Nick Lowe. I passed on a lot of things that were interesting to me, but they were like sort of companion pieces to albums I don't own yet. So I was kind of like, I got a couple things like that, but those were the first things I took away. And then obviously the things that I thought were too expensive, I took away, and all that stuff. But yeah, I didn't get any swag. My store did not get any of the tote bags or the promo CDs or anything. I posted about that on Instagram, but I'll say it again. I'm looking for a RSD 25 tote bag and the Strata East comp. Happen to come across any extras, please let me know. Most importantly, we gotta talk about the biggest Record Store Day release ever, which is this Dada puzzle. This is the super, super, super unlimited edition on thrift store CD. Doesn't even come with a case. Packaging on this is amazing. Look at that crisp, clean CD, non-breakable. Put that in your laser and read it. I want to be clear. I own this record because I like it, right? But like, I've been in the vinyl community for almost 15 years. I've never once heard anybody before this year talk about this album or their love for this album. I just think it is a funny coincidence. Buy whatever you want to buy, I bought my Cure picture disc, I bought my fucking, all my nerdy stuff, so it's fine. And I guarantee the fervor of that title, there will be another pressing. There has to be. Real Gone Music is usually pretty good about doing that. Even if they don't say initially something is an RSD first. But I will say, Real Gone Music, this is my biggest problem with Real Gone Music, is their titles are great. Their artwork is usually pretty great. But Real Gone Music, your Record Store Day prices are fucking ridiculous. I'm sorry, if you paid $50 for a vinyl of this, I don't know, man. Seems insane to me. What do I know? I need Disneyland on vinyl. I need it, man. Okay. Here's my big stack of bullshit. Let's take a look at it. I'll skim through. Obviously, I haven't listened to any of these yet. I'm hours removed from the event. But here we go. My first Record Store Day David Bowie title. This is Ready, Set, Go. Live from Riverside Studios to London, 2003. The first... Now, I'm curious exactly what this means. The first concert broadcast live globally via satellite. Does that mean ever? Does that mean the first David Bowie concert? When they say satellite, is that space satellite fucking technology? I mean, I'm young, but I'm not that young. The claim on here is interesting to me. But yeah, I mean, up to this point, other than some, very, very old David Bowie RSD releases. His stuff is usually not of interest to me, or it's covering certain periods or certain material that I don't care all that much about when it comes to David Bowie, but I have a ton of nostalgia for the Reality era, because that's when I first became aware of David Bowie, who's my dad's all-time favorite musical artist. So the Reality stuff and Heathen and kind of that last run of albums he did sticks out in my mind quite a lot. So pretty excited to hear this live album where he's doing mostly that stuff, the Reality stuff. Of course, I had to get the Dwarves. This is Sunshine, Lollipops, and Rainbows, the 1989 unreleased studio recording companion album to Blood, Guts, and Pussy, the fantastic classic sub-pop punk rock album. This package is awesome. There's a ton going on here. Crazy ass ATFG John insert as well. Printed inner sleeve as well. I mean, they loaded this sucker up. And then the picture disc vinyl, which is awesome. I used to have the Lucifer's Crank Dwarves Rex Story album. I purged it at some point. It seems to still be pretty gettable, so I need to go back and get that, because I do kind of regret getting rid of that, but, you know, it got purged in one purge or another, and, you know, alas, I no longer have it, but I'm going to try to get it. My Cure picture disc, The Head on the Door. This is one of the ones I've been waiting for them to do. One of probably my top 5 Cure albums. This thing is awesome. I had an OG of this many years ago. But yeah, I'm pretty well stocked on the Cure RC picture discs. The only two I'm really looking out for are 17 Seconds and Mixed Up. I think those are the last two I need. And I'll have all the stuff that I really want. And 17 Seconds seems to be fairly gettable, but Mixed Up seems to be still sitting at that like $50 price range, which I don't need to spend $50 on that. But what's really nice is I actually love the die cut, and the print behind the picture disc with the head on the door there is really nice. And then the back is just the track list. So, you know, exciting that, you know, people complain about them and wonder why they keep doing them, but now the people who collect them buy every one, and you're still paying full retail for these on aftermarket. So what are you gonna do? All right, was very excited about this one as well. The Colorfield Virgins and Philistines 40th anniversary edition, mastered at AIR Studios, 2LP, 140-gram yellow vinyl, and bonus album of singles and B-sides. I didn't read the full hype on the Cure, but you guys know what it is. So a couple records, I believe it was Black Friday 2023, they released the best of the Colorfield, which was nice. Now, if they continue doing these Colorfield reissues, which the band didn't have that much material, I feel like my best of album is then going to be rendered useless at some point, but I love that Record Store Day is focusing on this era of Britpop, because this is kind of my thing. And the remastered photograph of the cover art here without the text is really nice in person, which is cool. But yeah, double LP set, custom printed inners on yellow vinyl. Quite nice. Excited to spin that one. I do love that vinyl color of the best of. They hit that kind of light teal curacao fucking blue vinyl that I just love. So I probably will still hang on to it, even if they fully reissue every other Colorfield album. But yeah, just a kind of a unique artist for Record Store Day to be tackling in 2025. There's a big to-do about this one. I was very excited I got it because of the other artists that are similar to this. I was a little concerned I may not be able to get this one, and I think I got the last copy my store had because I heard a lot of people behind me very disappointed. But this is Gracie Abrams, The Secret of Us, live from Radio City Music Hall, RSD exclusive vinyl version, just on black vinyl for RSD, but I believe this is an RSD first title, so there will be some color editions coming down the pike. But Gracie Abrams' Secret of Us was one of my favorite non-metal albums last year. I'm a big fan. There's a sort of annoying young person quality to this music that really reminds me of when I was an annoying young person making music a decade or so ago, and it's something about it I really connect with and enjoy. So excited to check out the live album. I need to pick up that deluxe album that came out, but all these like pop deluxe albums are like 45, 50 bucks a pop. It's just like, you really got to find the right time to get those. I'm excited about all these. I don't know why I keep saying very excited about all of them. If I wasn't excited about it, I wouldn't talk about it. This is the Wombats with Glitterbug, 10th anniversary edition, limited 1LP Zoetrope picture disc, featuring a bonus remix track. Now I gotta say, I'm not thrilled about owning a piece of vinyl with the word TikTok on it, but so it goes. This is one of my all-time favorite pop albums, modern pop albums. Wombats, British indie rock group that kind of went full synth pop on this album, and it was just so nostalgic and so reflective of this certain time in my life when I was in college. And it's just, you know, it's kind of one of those era-defining albums for me. I owned a first press when it came out, ended up getting rid of it at some point. It's been reissued a couple different times, but was really, really excited to see this on the Record Store Day list this year, and on Zoetrope picture disc as well, which does not bother me one bit. So you got the insert, printed inner, and then the picture disc design, which obviously means nothing to you because you can't see it spinning, but it's got the album name there and a bunch of blinking lights and stuff. So very excited about this one. Such a cool release. It's I don't want to say it's rare, but it's not like super duper common when something that holds this kind of emotional and nostalgic weight for me gets issued as a Record Store Day title. So when it does, I kind of have to jump on it. Continuing my trip with the Dead, I did not get the box set. I did not get the Jerry Garcia Live. I would have liked to have gotten that, but you know, $70 title when you're buying all these other titles is easy to kick off the list. But I got this. This is the Dogfish Head Beer Record Store Day exclusive On a Back Porch Volume 1. Kicking back on a back porch while supporting indie record stores with easy listening Live Dead and easy drinking beer edition of 7000. Obviously, I'm not drinking shit, but I'm kind of keeping my eye out for some of these more interesting Grateful Dead archival releases and stuff. So this has a whole slew of kind of live stuff, most of which I'm unfamiliar with. Eyes of the World, Standing on the Moon, Next Kelly Blues, Me and My Uncle, Easy Wind, and Big Railroad Blues. This is just on black wax, but it has some nice blue flooding in the jacket. So, very cool. You should check that one out. I guess it's weird. I didn't really have like a number one, like, I'm gunning for this, but I guess if I did, it would be this. And this is the 20th anniversary edition of Earth, Hex, or printing in the Infernal Method. I had a second press of this that I sold in anticipation for this Record Store Day version, so I definitely wanted to make sure I could get it. This is Special RSD 2025 20th anniversary version, vinyl only bonus track, which was available on the old pressing. However, this comes with a poster exclusive to this release and exclusive color variant. The Southern Lord stuff, you know, it always hangs around. They always press it later, this, that, and the other. But wanted to get it. Earth, one of my all-time favorite bands, and this is kind of their first record of their new era as a band when they started going for the more kind of drum country stuff. So there's that nice poster, which looks great. And then this is the emerald green vinyl. I didn't pick up the Sun Oracle because I still am holding out for there's a limited CD version that has extra tracks on it, and I was kind of hoping if they were going to reissue that album on vinyl, they would do a double LP with the bonus tracks, but they did not. So the Sun Oracle was of no interest to me. That's another album I had a first press of way back in the day, and I want the CDs because it's got more stuff on it. None of these I was going to be super bummed if I missed out, but this was one that I felt like might be hard to get. I think I maybe got the only copy my store had. And I was furthest back in line that I've ever been on a record store day. And still was able to knock out all the stuff, which is great. This is the Rockfire Explosion, Original Dreams, Songs from Showbiz, put out by TerrorVision, which does a lot of intricately packaged soundtracks to obscure film. And I don't know if I have time to explain what the Rockfire Explosion is if you're not familiar. Basically, Showbiz Pizza was the OG Chuck E. Cheese. I don't know if we ever had one around my neck of the woods. I grew up a Chuck E. Cheese family, but what's nice is I had an original, the only pressing of their G, Our First album, which is all cover tunes, and it's pretty desirable, but mine was not in very good shape, and it was missing the lyric insert. And I thought maybe this was going to be a reissue of that, but this is actually much more interesting to me because this is all the original music from the Rockfire Explosion, none of the covers. So I'm hoping they maybe go back and reissue that covers album, which would be great. But this thing was done with such TLC, man. You get two gatefold inserts with all the band members. So that is very cool. You get a booklet that sort of explains the the history behind the Rockfire Explosion. It is a die-cut packaging, as they said. Printed inner sleeve and on some gorgeous splat of wax. So yeah, definitely, the most kind of oddball, maybe objectively stupid, esoteric find of this record store day. And normally a lot of that dumb esoteric stuff I usually pass by on, but this is something that was just so in my lane, and like I said, I had a feeling it might be desirable once it sold out, but it seemed like a lot of stores in my area got it, especially because TerrorVision is a collab with Grayface Records, who has a storefront in Chicago, and TerrorVision is actually doing a pop-up storefront in Chicago this whole weekend. So I had a feeling if I missed it at my store, I could have gotten it elsewhere. Public Image Limited, the unreleased US mix of the debut album, originally intended for release fall 1979. I have the excellent Light in the Attic reissue of the UK version of this. If you missed this, if you were interested in this and you didn't get it, I would highly recommend just seeking that out. Obviously, it's a different track listing, but that version has Fodder Stomp, which is maybe the best song of this era of the Pill. And you can get it for relatively cheap, and it comes with a ton of inserts. It's very well done. So if you missed this, you can probably get that for 20 bucks or less, I would imagine. But I'm a huge Pill fan, and because I have that great reissue of the UK version, wanted this US reissue to pair with it. Just on black vinyl, single photo insert, nothing too exceptional about the packaging, but just nice to have as a companion piece to that album. Papa Roach, Talk Away the Dark. Exclusive artwork etching, and all proceeds benefit the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, which rocks. So this is a track from their last studio album, Ego Trip, which I have the RSD pressing of from a couple years ago. I like that album a lot, and this is the 12-inch that contains many different versions of the song Talk Away the Dark. There's a Carrie Underwood version, there's a live version, instrumental, demo, and there's also a Daughtry collab on this as well, which is nice. Packaging on this is really neat. This is only 20 bucks. Comes in a nice die-cut inner sleeve. Comes on blue wax with the etching on the back of some roses, which look very nice. I think the only thing that would have made this better is if it was like a glow-in-the-dark blue vinyl. I think would have fit this. But yeah, very cool release, and like I said, I have the album, so I wanted the 12-inch single to pair with it. Had to get me some Lemonheads. I become a bigger and bigger Lemonheads fan all the time. And this is Lemonheads in Dreamland, unreleased outtakes, demos, and campfire covers from the Car Button Cloth era, which just got reissued. I need to go back and get that Hotel Sessions that Lemonheads put out a couple years ago, but the fact that there was any Lemonheads on this list at all, I had to get it. So this is total fan service stuff. You know, if you're a casual Lemonheads fan, you definitely don't need this, but you know, Evan Dando is such a unique personality and has such an array of musical knowledge under his belt, and his cover selections are always super interesting. I mean, you got Big Star, Velvet Underground, Neil Young, Merle Haggard, the Lugan Brothers, Television Personality, a couple other acoustic alternate versions of other Lemonheads tracks, so definitely had to get this. I still need to get the Carbutton Cloth reissue, but didn't want to miss out on that on white vinyl. Just a couple more here. I want to try to breeze through these before my phone craps out like it did on the last video. This is another super nostalgic find for me. This is Hank 3 with Rebel Within, my absolute favorite Hank 3 album. He's done a few Record Store Day albums in the past that fetch a super hefty price tag on the aftermarket. So I definitely did not want to pass this one up. This is black and white acid wash vinyl. Which looks quite nice. Basically those, you know, one of those smash variants, but super stoked on this one. Hopefully, you know, they'll do some more reissues of kind of that era of Hank 3 that I really love, you know, Straight to Hell and Damn Right Rebel Proud, and there's a couple other records of that era that I really, really love from him, but that's definitely my favorite, so nice to see that. The Veronicas, The Secret Life of the Veronicas. I believe this is their debut album, and Hook Me Up, which came out on Black Friday, I believe is the second album, if I remember that correctly. But I loved that Hook Me Up reissue. Probably my favorite release of Black Friday last year, so I definitely wanted to get this album to pair. First time on vinyl worldwide, 20th anniversary on ultra clear vinyl, which it absolutely is. And if it sounds anything like the Hook Me Up reissue, it's going to sound fantastic. So definitely got to get that to pair with the other Veronicas. And last but not least, one of my favorite bands from back in the day and currently, Him. This is the Join Me 12-inch single. They did the Bury Me Deep Inside Your Heart 12-inch picture disc last year. So now they're doing Join Me. This has 4 songs on it as opposed to 2 different versions of Join Me. A version of It's All Tears, and their awesome cover of Rebel Yell is on here as well. The only thing about this is it's kind of nice that it comes in a jacket. The one from last year is a die-cut picture disc that comes in one of those PVC sleeves. But I would have liked if they kept with the shaped picture disc, because the other one is shaped like the Hardigram logo. I thought this was going to be like a razor blade shaped die-cut picture disc like the other one, but it apparently is not. It just comes in this sleeve. So, I mean, it's still cool. It still looks nice. I'm happy to have it. I don't know why they went die cut for one and not die cut for the other. Maybe they couldn't figure out how to do die cut for this one. Can't tell you. But yeah, I mean, hefty Record Store Day, as they seem to be increasing every year. And I'm going to spend the next few days after filming this. By the time you see this video, it's possible I will have already listened to a number of these. Enjoy. Hope you found what you wanted on Record Store Day, including the Dada. And see you again.